I hate this trouble with lighting. Better. All right, I've got the lighting set up, and I just want to say welcome to the den, dear fiends. So, I am the Gothic Rose, and I have been talking the haunted history of Hollywood. Now, with that, I have made discoveries from Broadway to vaudeville and all of these actors who, for many years, kept their careers going despite hardships and tons of scandals. And I will talk about this in next week's live stream, but there is literally a formula to gaining and maintaining this level of fame that many actors and actresses today are having trouble with. And that is including actors and actresses like Amber Heard, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. We've got Harry and Meghan, whether they are celebrities or royalty, embroiled in battles and lawsuits and charity scandals while still being seen out doing publicity stunt photo shoots and whatever it may be. But yesterday's discussion was about The Great Gatsby. And that got me thinking about imposter syndrome and its sister syndrome, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Now, The Great Gatsby is a metaphor for really Hollywood and new money and not fitting in and of itself. It explores several powerful moral lessons, but at its core, it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of obsessive ambition and the illusion of the American dream that everyone is going to come here and have money and everyone is going to be successful. And it doesn't always happen. And wealth and status, of course, as very well created by F. Scott Fitzgerald in this book, doesn't guarantee happiness. So Gatsby builds his entire life around a lie. His name is Gats, but he changes it to Gatsby. And he has this idea that success and fortune will help him win back his love, Daisy Buchanan, but he fails to see that his dream is based on an illusion. Daisy's not coming back. Money will not change that. Parties will not change that. That is the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So his relentless pursuit of the past ultimately leads to his downfall. And then, of course, The Great Gatsby talks about the corruption of the American dream. So the idea that anyone can achieve greatness through hard work, Fitzgerald suggests that in reality, wealth is often based and built on deception and privilege. And those who chase success blindly may lose their morality along the way. And that seems to be true, history today in politics, in Hollywood, all of it. And Hollywood and politics have been intertwined since at least 1915, whether they wanted to be or not. And this novel also criticizes and critiques the emptiness of materialism, showing how the wealthy characters, despite their luxury, they're deeply unfulfilled and they're careless. So, Tom and Daisy Buchanan represent a social class that prioritizes personal comfort over integrity, leaving destruction in their wake. And Gatsby himself is trying to recreate that and step into a world that he does not belong in. So, it teaches us about the dangers of living in the past and how longing for an idealized version of life can prevent people from facing reality. So his belief that he can recreate a perfect past blinds him to the truth that time moves forward whether we like it or not. And I think that this happens in Hollywood a lot because so many people either have this imposter syndrome or the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is a cognitive bias where people with low ability or knowledge overestimate their competence. So they believe that they're more skilled than they actually are because they lack awareness to recognize their limitations. And we're seeing this in Hollywood. We're seeing this currently in the highest office of our government. But imposter syndrome is when someone doubts their abilities and they feel like a fraud. Even when they have evidence of their competence, they worry that they're not as smart, talented, or capable as others think, and they fear being found out. And this can happen in work, school, or creative fields, or really just anywhere where someone achieves success but struggles to own it. Now, this is really interesting because another positive opposite effect of both imposter syndrome and the Dunning-Kruger effect could be self efficacy, where someone has the confidence and ability to succeed based on experience and realistic self assessment. And this allows them to take on challenges without self doubt. But imposter syndrome is incredibly common. Now, Jay Gatsby, the enigmatic protagonist of The Great Gatsby, he embodies a unique mix of confidence and self delusion, and it could be linked to both imposter syndrome and the Dunning Kruger effect, but not in a straightforward way. So, Gatsby reinvents himself from James Gatz, a poor young man, into a wealthy and mysterious figure driven by his obsession with the past and his dream of rekindling his romance with Daisy Buchanan. So he is, on the one hand, incredibly ambitious and confident in his vision, but there's also the sense that he's performing a role. So he's building this extravagant persona and lavish life to fit a dream rather than his reality. So this suggests a form of imposter syndrome as he constantly seeks validation and worries about whether his transformation is truly convincing. But at the same time, Jay Gatsby might exhibit some traits of the Dunning-Kruger effect, as his confidence in winning Daisy back ignores the complexities of her life and her choices. His unwavering belief that he can repeat the past shows a certain disconnect from reality despite his intelligence and charm. So ultimately, Jay Gatsby is this tragic figure and someone who fully believes in his own dream, yet struggles with its fragile foundation. His story is fascinating, and it's just, he has this identity crisis and ambition that really is self destructive. So tell me what you guys think of Jay Gatsby and this whole book. Now, many stars have spoken out about having and experiencing imposter syndrome in Hollywood. Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Emma Watson, and Lady Gaga are like some of the more, recent stars, but in old Hollywood, Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Laurence Olivier, and Judy Garland all felt just inadequate at times and struggled with their self-image and their talent. But we also have the Dunning-Kruger effect, which I think in stars like Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, I think that Meghan and Harry are a huge red flag with the Dunning-Kruger effect, where they're overestimating their abilities. And the reason I say this about Harry and Meghan is because everything is a flop. And the reason I'm saying it about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is because they seriously miscalculated this entire Justin Baldoni lawsuit, where their world and their friendships and everything is just crumbling around them. And it's really hard to say what other stars could have this Dunning-Kruger effect because I don't know them. I'm just telling you what I see of those four people. I mean, we could throw someone like Amber Heard in when she was married to Johnny Depp, that you know, she really thought that she was bigger than she was. She got the role in Aquaman. He stated in the trial that it was because of him. It could have been, it could not be. but she definitely got like an ego up there and she didn't really have the talent to match it. And I kind of feel that way definitely about Blake and Ryan. Like the movies that they make are, not like cinematic masterpieces, but It Ends With Us had a really good chance at telling a very important and dark story, but Blake Lively turned it into a rom-com, and Ryan Reynolds, it seems, has been the driving force behind this whole lawsuit the entire time, and it just seems, like I said, strange and miscalculated to me. And we know Prince Harry struggles with a lot of things from his mother's death, but he's also in his 40s with children of his own. If the rumors are to be true that those are his children, some people think they're not. I don't know what to think. I think it's all crazy. But, he's got like imposter syndrome with being a blood prince. And his wife is the classic narcissist with the Dunning-Kruger effect, who's like, I am a chef, I am a lifestyle guru, I am a princess, I am a duchess, I am an American, I am political, but also royal, but also perfect. And it just show us the real imperfect you. She had done that interview on the podcast. It was like Meghan Markle and Liz Kern Lima. Is that her name? And the best I had seen her look ever was in those sweatpants, sneakers, no makeup, hair down. But I thought that it was odd that the two of them dressed similarly. Like, what were you trying to tell us? Then wear a color, don't wear black if you're going to dress similarly like that. It was very strange the way the entire podcast was put together. But in it, the narcissism and the Dunning-Kruger effect of Meghan Markle were on full display. Of, I just want people to know how much she loved. Like, she's talking about herself in the third person, like putting it, subconsciously and subliminally in our minds that she loves and cares so much. Just do things that show us. Do things that show us. And, it's just like right after your husband loses this court case and you're like, "Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I can't go to the UK." You're at a Beyonce concert with 70,000 people. And I will make a post about this later about Harry's cowboy hat, because I have been to Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and I have been inside those shops where they make the cowboy hats. They do it in Nashville. They do it in every, major country city in the world. You know what I'm talking about, country music city in the world. And you get the hat that fits your head, but then they go and they're supposed to create the brim for you, and they're supposed to create the dip in the middle. I don't know what that's called. Forgive me, I'm not a hatter. I'm a bit mad though. But it just shocked me that he would be wearing an unfinished cowboy hat. They have millions of dollars. Get the cowboy hat done the right way. It's just so strange to me. But I believe that Hollywood, the illusion of it, the illusion that was created back when everyone broke away from Thomas Edison and moved from the East Coast of New York, where all of the films were made, out to the West Coast of Hollywood, that they started to now create more of an illusion, and it just kept going. And pretty much everything is fake. Everything is, just contrived. And like I said, it's fine if you want to contrive your life and be that way, just hide the rest of it. Most of the problem I have with Hollywood today is they are trying to be Hollywood stars as well as social media stars, and the two should not truly intertwine. I feel that if someone very famous has a social media account, it should really just be for the projects that they're doing. I don't want to see that deep into your life. I think that that's best left to the normies of us out here who are, influencers or podcasters or whatever. And how much of your life do you really want to give away? Because for those stars that do want privacy, you're kind of encroaching on that and invading their privacy as well by letting yours all out there. Just a theory, just an opinion. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but let me know in the comments. But the illusion of Hollywood and the imposter syndrome out there, the Dunning-Kruger effect out there, And the very few stars that are balanced and down to earth that I do love, that Hollywood the right way, that take their fame and, if they do make videos, they're doing fun things with it. They're doing XYZ with it. They're not trying to be an Oscar winner and a lifestyle guru and have their own pots and pans collection and all of their jams and this and that. Leave that to the lifestyle gurus who have managed to gain fame, or leave that to the stars who really have stepped back from the spotlight and the movies to focus on their lifestyle brands. It's a mix. I have a love-hate relationship with some of it. It could have to do with the person itself, but the point is uncovering the truth of the illusion that Hollywood has created, and social media is helping us break that illusion. So, with that, you guys, I thank you for joining me on this episode in the Den. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you guys soon.